Hey y'all, it's Andrea with Sucs for You in Houston, Texas, and for this plant profile video, I'm going to be talking about Dorstenia bahiensis. And first off, there is some confusion about Dorstenia bahiensis versus Dorstenia elata. So I'll talk about that and what those differences are in a second. But I just wanted to show you guys this amazing flower. Look at that weird, this is the flower. I've made some videos on this before of harvesting the seeds from the flowers. It's got this really lovely, very dark trunk. It appears succulent, but it's not. This isn't really a succulent plant. In fact, it's thirsty and it likes a lot of shade. So it's a good plant to add to your collection if you have succulents, for like if you want to have something inside in your window, or if you have spaces that don't have a ton of light. This is your huckleberry right here, and actually it's not a huckleberry, of course. This is in the Ficus family, and you can see how shiny the leaves are. They're so beautiful, just dark and shiny. These aren't as, they still look really pretty, but these either got too much light, or they need a little more, maybe some iron, or just some more balanced fertilizer. And I am currently awaiting these seeds. And what happens is I have to trap them in something, because they do shoot out, as most Dorstenia's seeds will. They're just like little projectiles, and they shoot out everywhere, so you do have to catch them if you want to save them. So it's a very beautiful plant. It is native to Brazil, and it thrives in like the rainforest floors down way underneath the shady tree canopies. It gets a lot of rain. It loves humidity, doesn't like the cold. So, I had some trouble with it when it got really hot, or if it was getting too much light, or if it was like too cold outside. And I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna see how she does in the windowsill. So I've had it in a south-facing windowsill inside, and it's doing great. And I was like, is it gonna make seeds inside? Is it too cold in here? Because we keep it kind of cool. We set that down. It's not shaking like crazy. And then I checked, and lo and behold, it has started to finally put out some seeds. I've been waiting for a while now, so very excited about that. Again, Dorstenia bahiensis, very lovely, shiny, shiny, shiny leaves. I mean, the flowers are really cool. Like, there's a lot of cool like features of this plant. Like, the stalk is really cool. See all that? But really, I think in the flowers are just wild. But really, what I think is most striking is how shiny these leaves are. Now, as far as comparing it to Dorstenia elata, if you look up Dorstenia bahiensis, or if you look up Dorstenia elata, both this plant is going to come up as a result. And it turns out, and it took me some digging to finally figure it out. I had even posted in a couple of like dedicated Dorstenia groups on Facebook, and it seemed like no one really had the answer. But I finally found someone had shared some information that it seems like somewhere in Java, there was a few species of Dorstenias that had been naturalized there. They don't originate from there, the elata and the bahiensis. And somehow this dude was mistakenly named elata when it's bahiensis. So they're not the same plant. You'll see it, people say these are the same plant, according to what I've read, and I'll link to the research below in the video description. They are two distinct. They did some molecular studies, and they're different plants. The species are different species, and there's some notable differences that you can use, such as different leaf shapes, different flowers. But either way, their care needs will be very similar. And whether or not if you have a Dorstenia elata, it very well could be a bahiensis instead, because again, there's just not a ton of differentiating information online, and even experts I guess they didn't figure it out until maybe a few years ago of why there was the confusion and why, until they actually did that the molecular test to see what the differences were. So that's that. Now you know. And I'm going to put I have a little mesh bag right here that I'm going to just put around this flower. So I'm going to do that really quick. I'm literally just going to put it on there and very gently tighten the strings. There we have it. And these seeds, they produce very quickly. Like I looked earlier yesterday and there was only one that was starting to become visible, and then I looked back later and I'm looking today and it looks like there's already like several more that are beginning to form. So that's your little freaky flower. We got another one over here that hasn't started making any seeds yet. Isn't that cool? And you know how figs are like, the fruits are like inverted flowers? Again, this is in the same family, so it has a lot of similar characteristics as figs do. So the way the flowers produce, it's like, it's basically, it's really hard to explain, but it's basically like an inside out flower. Alright guys, thanks for watching this plant profile on Dorstenia bahiensis with Sucs for you. And just in case you don't know, I do have a book called the Succulent Manual, a guide to care and repair for all climates. It's available as a paperback and an ebook, and it's going to really help you build up your succulent knowledge, even though not a succulent, but this is going to be that plant that you have in your collection that it's just always pretty thirsty, and so you don't have to worry about overwatering it, but you do have to worry about forgetting about it. Never done that before, have I? Just kidding, I have. And one more thing, I actually did wind up, I had it potted in a pretty fast draining soil, but I went back and added some more organic soil to the mix so it didn't dry out as quickly. Okay, and there's big begonia girl living her best life outside. She was not happy inside, but this one's pretty happy inside. Okay guys, thanks for watching.